right. What is going on, everybody? I am logging in to make sure that I get these questions together. Put this thing on Do Not Disturb. I'm going to also turn this off. Yep. Hey, everyone. What is going on with everybody? Welcome to I Was Her. Man, I'm sorry I missed y'all last week, but I feel like this week is going to make up for me missing last week, okay? And then episode 18, it didn't save, unfortunately. I was going to save it and repost it on my YouTube, but that didn't happen. But anyway, nonetheless, this week, I'm really excited. We've got a guest that I'm excited about. I'm really excited to hear his opinions. Y'all didn't really submit as many questions as I thought you would, but that's okay because we got enough that's going to take the conversation to where we're going to go. And I apologize because I messed up on the questions part. I didn't save the first ones because I keep forgetting that. Well, anyway, y'all, I forget things. Nonetheless, okay, so I'm really, really excited. Thank you guys for the top and everything. I appreciate it. I'm real excited. We gonna see how this goes. I am excited to bring on y'all. I'm not even gonna read y'all comments because then I'm like a squirrel. I don't really stay in. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna add Sammie. I know we got an hour, so I'm gonna respect the hour and be respectful of his time and my time. But this is I Was Her. I'm really excited about I Was Her. Because we answer questions that y'all submit. So if you guys are trying to ask us more questions, submit the questions in the question box. And we're just going to keep it flowing. I mean, I don't know how long. Y'all, I don't know about everybody else, but I definitely got my glass of wine. I don't know who else has the glass of wine, but this is what I do. And so, anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Sammie, you ready? I think he's ready. All right. All right. Well, Lord Jesus. Let me see. I'm gonna ask these. What's up, sir?
What's good, Queen? How you doing?
Well,
am.
How are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited about this, Sammie. I really am. That's why I'm drinking this glass of wine right here.
You got the wine, I got a little beer, so we good.
But we good. We good money. Okay, so people didn't submit as many questions as I would have liked, but it doesn't matter. We're just gonna talk.
All right.
Is there anything on your spirit that you would like to share?
I'm with whatever. It's all good.
Okay, bet. All right, so first question. Well, this is more to me, but okay, in a 7-year relationship, but the sex drive isn't there. How do you spark it back up?
That's a great question because sex is very, very important. The intimacy factor in a relationship. I think communication is key, and that might be my answer for a lot of things. But I think that we should be adult enough and grown enough to talk to our partners about what it is that pleases them. You know what I'm saying? It could be the amount of sex that they get, the pleasure, the attentiveness. So just having that, I guess, grace space, that safe space to talk about what it is sexually that's lacking. I need more spontaneous sex. It doesn't need to be planned. Those things like that, it goes a long way from my experience. Just being able to have an open space with your significant other to say, hey, this is what I like. This is what I need. This is what I'm lacking in. And apparently you love that person enough to appease them and please them and in return please yourself. So I think just being able to go and talk about it without that person feeling offended or attacked goes a long way.
I agree with that. I also think that, I've been in situations with men that when I say something like that I feel like is lacking, I've always felt it can be weird because I think men don't really take that well. Like,
because it's an uncomfortable space, you know what I'm saying, to hear your woman say, hey, I'm not being pleased that way, and you thought you was doing something, you know what I'm saying? So it's just having that humble uh, grace again in that safe space. I like to use the word safe space. That person can communicate to you and say, "Hey, I need a little more of this," or "I
Right.
needed this." Or being open minded too to doing something new. 7 years is a long time, so now it become routine. It's the same positions. You already know where he's going, where she's going. It might be one
Right.
position. Let's spice it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And being open and trying something new, I think will also keep the flame going.
Yeah, I think a lot of women too. I love that you said that. A lot of women, we also take these things personally. Like I know that there's a lot of women that are like, my this dude that I'm with stepped out on me, he cheated on me, whatever the case may be, and then he's coming back and saying, hey, it's because I'm lacking this, and he didn't
Right.
know how to communicate it to her because he didn't want to hurt her feelings, but at the same time, it was a need that wasn't met, and then I feel like we as women really can't take criticism that well. And that's something that we have to do better, I believe.
Yeah, I've learned this through therapy, right? I'm pro therapist, by the way. I have a therapist that my queen put me on, and it's enhanced me as a man and a king that I aspire to not just be, but even more so become. Um, it's very very important about how you say it. It's not what you say. So if a man comes to you and says that he's lacking in a certain department, right?
Right,
Uh, he has to be gentle. Women are delicate flowers. Um, so you have to be gentle with your approach, and still get your message across thoroughly, but with love and compassion and being intentional about it. Yeah. Again, it's just how you say it. If I say something when I'm angry, I might have all the facts and be in my right merit to say it. But if there's no logic in that. But if I calm my nerves down and make sure I'm centered, and then deliver it, with peace and light and love, and from a place of compassion, my
right.
partner is more receptive to hear what I'm saying.
And saying it in love is so important. I agree with that.
Amen.
Somebody asked, what did you look for in a partner when you was out here in the streets? What made you want to settle down?
Well, you know what? God just put it in me to want a wife.
Okay.
Yeah, that's divinity, and I know it's hard to verbalize, but I've lived a very much so R&B rock star life where I had women in every city, and if I didn't, by the end of the night, I would. So I've had more recreational sex than emotional, loving sex with somebody I really cared about. But God just put it in me to want one person because I realized no matter how much money I gain, how much popularity I have, if I don't have anybody to share and build with, and I'm big on legacy. You know what I'm saying? I made my name mean something. So I would love to have my equal, you know what I'm saying, side by side. And to now I work double time. You know what I'm saying? So it was just really implanted in me to want one person because I've had a plethora and still was empty. And if you ever, true with yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you're still incomplete and you can be honest with self, then it's time to try it a different way. So it was just really, really God given and God planted into my soul to be open to one woman.
So, and that's funny because, and I'm going off the cuff. This ain't even a question, but there was a time in my life where they were like, how did, what did you do to make somebody settle down? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's not necessarily about, like, I feel like a lot of women try to be like this perfect person. I feel like if a man isn't ready, he ain't ready. I don't care
That,
how you
that's the
are.
fact.
You know,
Facts.
a man has to get to a place of like, I'm ready so I can receive you at this time because I'm ready. I don't care how perfect you are.
This is true. And I could contest to that. I've been dating since I was 17. I'm 34
Okay.
now. Put over in hindsight, I wouldn't have never dated anybody, and that's no shade to my exes. I had beautiful, amazing, godly women in my life, but I didn't wake up until I was 29, which is not too long ago. And when I say wake up, just looked at myself and was like, I'm tired of lying. I'm tired of changing my passcodes on my phone, of having to delete threads, etc., etc. Um,
Right.
tired of breaking hearts, tired of breaking myself, tired of running from myself. You know what I'm saying? I wrote a song some years ago entitled Face to Face, and it was pretty much saying like I'm even tired of me. So if I'm tired of myself, then I know I'm dragging a woman through my mud and my toxicity. So
That,
uh it's nothing a woman can do to make a man want to be with you or be loyal to you and honor you on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? It's genuinely we have a feeling, we get tired of being sick and tired, and then we just change. So we change for self. We don't change for a woman. You can cook, clean, sex,
that's
be all that, and he might give it up to the girl in the yellow dress with the fat ass. You know what I'm saying? Until he comes to himself and says, you know what, I just really want to be right. It's nothing that a woman can do to convince a man. You can influence him and you can kind of push him towards, but you can't make me do anything that I don't want to do.
That you don't want to do.
Yeah.
That,
And that I'm
that's real good right there. Somebody need to hear that. I see that in the comments because that, like a lot of like I've had friends that be like, oh, I did this, I did that, I did this, and it's like you're absolutely right. Like when you say you got tired of yourself.
yeah, yeah.
I know what that feels like.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny too, and I want to tell the women that's on here,
Right.
When a man steps out, one of the first things, and it's so honorable and cute in a way, not like cute for real, but cute that a woman be like, why did you do that?
Right.
They want to look at themselves. You guys want to look at yourselves and, oh, I wasn't cooking enough. I wasn't cleaning enough. I wasn't supportive enough. And the truth is, majority of the time, not all times, but majority of the time, there's no why. So I would implore women to stop asking men why they did something. He did it because he wanted to. Simple and plain. And if you can accept that, then you will accept less heartbreak and less struggle and less hardship. We don't have a why. Sometimes you had too many shots. Sometimes it was just right there and you wasn't strong enough to say no. Or sometimes you just wanted to get that lust up out of you. That's it. And me explaining that why is not going to suffice for the heartbreak and the I guess the greatness that I've illustrated. So
Right.
women got to thinking that it's them and understand that we do have freedom of choice and we choose ultimately to do what we want to do, even if it's just for a moment of pleasure that will ruin a lifetime of love.
Right. That's that's some deep stuff right there. Saying I had to take a minute for that one because
I've
I mean
lived. I've
I've
been.
said I've cheated before.
Me too. No, me. Yeah. I'm like
You know.
I was a habitual offender at one point in my life. You know. Um, and I'm honest with myself. I've always loved women. I'm not addicted to anything. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But I will say that a generational curse in my family is men desiring a plethora of women. My father was a ladies' man. You
Okay.
know, he never set me down and told me that. He never told me the truths about him and my mother and why the marriage uh, went to shambles. And
Mm.
now I don't have kids yet, but before I bear a son, you know, I wrote a song called Unborn. It'll be out actually next Friday on my gospel EP, but it's about
Oh.
generational curses. It's like, you know what? Let me be honest with myself and say, you know what? More than likely, my son, my future son, will have this same urge and these same battles and these same demons and struggles with women that I've had in my duration of life. Let me try to kill that before he gets here, so he doesn't have to even fight that. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying?
That's right.
But real man to even say that, and
Yeah.
then not say it, but then address it. You know, so um, very little times is there a solid why that we can give a woman uh, as to why we did what we did.
That's so interesting because what about the men that do give you a why? Like, oh, it's because you're not doing this or you're not doing that.
Again, it goes back to my first point, communication. Did he pull you to the side, Sammie, and say, or Samantha, and say, hey, sweetheart, I need you to be more supportive, and you wasn't. So the coworker that I was talking to on lunch breaks, I was telling her my dreams and aspirations and visions, and she was kicking that lingo that I needed to hear, and it fed my ego, and it fed my spirit, and she became now enticing. Did he
Mm.
talk about that? Most times we don't feel, especially as a man, we were taught to not cry and to not feel and to be
Right.
tough and strong
Right.
and just take. So we're a walking ticking bomb anyway. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So you meet somebody that's beautiful and that smells good and that is articulate and charming and charismatic, and now she's a substitute for what is lacking in your home. And so
Mm.
we that. It's an easy. We can still give you the why, but does that make it okay? It still doesn't give us
Right.
it makes some solace, like, oh, okay, I was lacking in that apartment. But if he never brought it to you, then you were always in the dark about it.
That's
And
right.
adjustments to appease and please your man the correct way.
That's so, I mean, and the thing is, you're doing, like, first of all, you know, as a therapist, you doing therapy. Because I've been doing therapy for like 8 years, but I could tell you've been doing your work because I don't think enough men hear men say that they're doing their work because I think it's so important for everybody. I don't care what you're doing, but where you are at life. Like, I think that therapy is so important because
Yeah, it's beautiful because it makes you address self. I learned in my I've been in like 7, 8 sessions this year. Um, all this time I thought I had daddy issues, right? And I love my pops. We have a great relationship. I was grew up in a broken home. But the truth is I have mommy issues. And I
Yeah.
never known that until I was 33 years young. Like I always needed validation from my mom. My pops was at every basketball game, every football game. He's front row in the shows. There's times when my mom didn't support me coming back to the industry, so that fucked with me. She wasn't pressed as a single parent to show up at the football games and the basketball games because I got younger siblings, so she had to scatter herself out. But I needed my mom to see that I dropped 10 points and 5 rebounds or whatever, right? So now, all this time I've been losing the champion of a woman. So then I'm Sammie. I'm an R&B sensation, right? I get love every day from women.
Right.
That's what I build myself up and to build my self-esteem and to quote unquote morph into this kingdom man when ultimately I need to be self-validated.
Mm.
Self-esteem,
Awesome.
pro, we skip the word self. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ultimately required to say, Sammie, you're handsome. Sammie, you're smart. Sammie, you're intellectual. Sammie, you're funny. Sammie, you're talented. Sammie, you're driven. And if I just love myself, then I can love someone properly. But if I don't love myself, how the hell am I gonna love this woman who came up differently from me?
Right.
Dreams and aspirations of her own. I cannot cater to that because I can't cater to me. You know what I'm saying? And I think we make a terrible decision in our youth getting involved with people and we don't even know who we truly are. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Until you grow yourself and you love yourself wholeheartedly, flaws and all, you will never be able to ever give all of yourself to anybody. And that's for a man and a woman.
That's for a man and a woman. Some of y'all ladies, I mean, yeah, Sam is talking that stuff, y'all. And I'm saying I'm feeling it as a woman because I understand that. I
Yeah.
understand, like, when I started doing my work and started allowing somebody to peer into my blind spots and
Mm-hmm.
tell me about myself
Mm-hmm.
and sit in that seat. That's the only way that I could be, like, I really did have an issue with validation. I
Mm-hmm.
realized I was actually deeply insecure. And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of me was looking for things, and it wasn't about the people that I was with. They were good
Yeah.
people. But it's
Yeah.
just when I don't love me and I don't feel like I can be loved by me, then
Yeah.
how can anybody ever suffice? How can anybody fill that void?
Yep, yep, and that's the problem. We spend so many relationships trying to fill our cups by draining our partner, which
Oh,
is the worst thing you could do. When ultimately, I believe love is supposed to be an endless cycle of overflow. I should be pouring into you, you should be pouring into me, and our cup should runneth over. That's Bible. Never did it say I got to give you all of my happiness, all of my kindness, all of my drive, all of my energy, and now I'm depleted. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm depleted, I'm going to be lacking in another department. So let's come to each other whole and just overflow in love and overflow in support and happiness and our dreams and our aspirations. We really, it takes time to get there. And statistics show that men mature hella slow compared to a woman. You know what I'm saying? I believe this. Women are made to love. You know what I'm saying? We give y'all a house, you make it a home. We give y'all a seed, you give us children. Y'all are naturally nurturing. Y'all been playing with Barbies and Ken and Barbie all y'all's lives, right? And making them play house. We're
right,
taught love. Or we have to grow up in love. And do you know how many fatherless men there are? Do you know how many motherless men? So we don't know compassion. We don't know to be sensitive. We don't know it's okay to cry. It's okay to, that's not weak. That's just being vulnerable. That's being transparent. So when I have kids, I'm going to teach, especially my sons, I'm going to teach my sons, it's okay to feel. You cry. And why are you crying? And how do
right,
you, what made you cry? And what made you convey this emotion? And let him feel solid and still a lion and still a man and still an alpha being transparent. So it took me trial and error to get to this guy. You know what I'm saying? I trampled a few hearts, that I'm not proud of, to morph into this, and I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? Right when you think you got it, there's another level to reach. So I or again therapy, communication, and really, if you're not in love with yourself, then don't expect someone else to fall in love with you.
that's good right there.
And
For all the women on here, that's 100% true. I think a lot of women on here, well, not even just women. I'm gonna make it general. For a lot of us, it's like we feel like when we get out of something, let's say we feel less than, we already felt less than, we in this relationship and we're expecting somebody to fill our cup, like you said, and then you're always at a deficit because that never can, that person, I feel like the only space that can fill that is God. That's the only space.
That's it. It starts
for you to worship. That he was made for. That's what you were made to do, is to worship. And we're not made to be worshipped. And
yeah,
so
we're just serve actually. And that's another beautiful thing when you realize that in all facets, all realms and dimensions of life, I'm just here to serve. So as your friend Samantha, I'm supposed to check on your mind, your body, and your spirit. That's me serving and catering to those things that real friends are supposed to inquire about. So in a relationship, it's a endless commitment. And I say endless because marriage is allegedly till death do you part when you meet your equal, right?
right.
I should always want to serve my lady, even when I don't feel like doing it. You know what I'm saying? If she asks me to do it, I'm going to do it because that's my duty, what I signed up for. It's vice versa. She don't feel like making food every day, Monday through Friday, and washing dishes and cleaning the house and making sure I'm taking my vitamins. But she does it because she realizes that I've made a commitment to be with this man. This man has made a commitment to be with me. So forever, for all time on this earth, I'll just serve my lady. And when have you heard a man just really say it? It's like that. Like, I just want to serve her. I have to serve her. So we are not made to be worshipped. We are not made to be idolized. We are made to serve. And that's to the homeless. That's to the well-off. That's to the friends. That's to the family. And, of course, your mate. You know what I'm saying? So when I get into a relationship now, I'm just of service for you. What do you want me to do? Even if I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Get it. Because ultimately the award is far greater, making my person happy opposed to abandoning her wishes and her desires.
Yeah. And I when I did premarital counseling a long time ago, they said to me, and it was Dr. Dollar and Tappy Dollar, and they said, they were like, it doesn't work when you are at the center. Like, when you are at the center of your own world, it doesn't work. Marriage doesn't work. But if you put the other person at the center and the other person puts you at the center, then your focus is not on what they are doing or what they're not doing for you. Self-centered. Right. So when we're like tit for tat, like, oh, you didn't do this, so I'm not doing that. That's not love. What God calls us to do is to love, or not even God, but how relationships work, how marriages last is like the choice to put somebody else at center, and it works the best if they do the same thing for you.
And believe in the power of influence and energy. If you can lack all you want to, stop cleaning, stop cooking, right? But if I just keep cleaning and I pick up the pieces and I'm still providing, I'm still leading, I'm still taking you on trips and buying you nice things and bringing you flowers just because it's Thursday. Naturally, as a real queen, if you're a real queen, you're going to want to reciprocate that energy. So now it just, the tit for tat is no longer I'm not doing, it's what more can I do?
That's right.
And that influences the overflow. And I've experienced this, so I'm only talking from experience. I didn't read this in no book. I didn't Dr. Love and Guru. I promise there's a few women that's probably like, oh, fuck him. He wasn't this guy when he was 19. You know what I'm saying? So I'm being honest. This is experience. But now I have no problem overextending myself, over pushing myself for my person because she's going to follow me. And that's what a man do, lead. If I lead her the right way and she is really who I think she is, if she's my mirror, she's going to follow me. Yeah. And then the thing that all men want, but women don't like the word submission. You know what I'm saying? She'll submit to how I lead. She'll feel comfortable, quote unquote, giving into my love in the way that I love because I'm an example of it. I ain't just talking it, I'm walking it. So this is, it's a trial and error thing. But if I could do it over, I would have never dated Sammie before 29 because I never was tired of myself. I never was in love with myself. I never was self-validated until that age. For some reason, when I woke up.
Do you think that, like, being famous, and you've been famous for a long time, like being famous, do you feel as though that you have what other people don't? Like, I mean, Instagram age is different, but you have it, like it could be a God complex. You could have had a God complex where there's people that are like adoring you.
Yeah.
Was that hard in relationships? Like, because you've been accustomed to people loving you. Was that hard? Did that make it a challenge to be faithful?
Yeah, that's what made me not faithful for so long, actually.
Mm.
Because I'm like, you know, I lived in a place, in a space where I'm like, well, if you don't do it, there's 1,000 other women that can't wait to do it. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't hype me up, she'll hype me up. If you don't make me laugh, she'll make me laugh. If you don't support me, she'll support me. And that is a terrible, toxic man that I was when I lived in that space. But
Mm.
I was very, very also humbled. Right when I got my shit together, the person that I gave my all to was, I feel, my karma. She could not give me peace. She could not give me harmony. She could not accept the great guy that I had morphed into. And I felt I felt I deserved that. I was like, you know what? Because I treated women like, if you don't do what I say, how I say, when I say, then cool. I got one in LA and one in New York and one on the other side of Atlanta. And that was a terrible, greedy, immature boy, that allowed his ego to lead him.
Mm.
And once you're led by ego or pride, comes demise. You know what I'm saying? We all have our day.
Right.
And once I realized that it will never always be my way, and a woman will never do every fucking thing that I want her to do. There's no such thing as perfection, right? At least my example or illustration of what perfection is. Um, God humbled me. So
Mm-hmm.
now down to God, you know what I'm saying? I bow down to my woman, you know what I'm saying? Because uh, I've allowed myself again to see myself and realize I was a clown for thinking that
Right.
every woman would do exactly what I wanted her to do. Who am I? I'm just a mortal man. You know what I'm saying? So it can't always be my way. Can't always go my way. And in partnership, you know, I don't really believe in boyfriend girlfriend, but I believe in partnership. In partnership,
Mm.
there's a cycle of bending. I just got to keep stretching and bending for my person, because they're gonna keep changing and morphing, and as will I. And if I expect her to morph and change with me, I gotta change with her. And that's when you have the reciprocation and respect, values that are honored, and you become grateful for it.
Yeah. I with my experience, it's been the same. It's like when somebody, I think it's hard sometimes when you giving and giving and giving, and then somebody just keeps taking and taking and taking, and then you're in a place of like deficit because you want to be poured into too. But when you're
Right.
in a place of like self validation where you don't need somebody to be pouring into, where you don't need that, you're receiving that from something else, from yourself, from God, whatever that is. It's like now you can really have a true relationship, have a true exchange of energy, and it be
Yeah.
pure, and like you really be self sacrificing and be okay with your cup is always filled because you fill in your own cup. You don't need this
Yeah. Yeah.
person to do certain.
Very much so. Correct. I agree.
Right. Okay. So anyway, here's another question. I went off the cup.
Nah.
Okay. So my husband and I have been married for 7 years. We had our first child in 2007. We had three amazing kids. I'm straight Mexican. He's mixed, black and white. I understand there's cultural differences, but what hurts me and makes me sad is that he always listens to rap music and never wants to listen to romantic songs. Every time I listen to my love songs, he turns it off, and I always feel like I have to hide what I listen around him. I'm tired of living like that. I feel so empty inside. I just want to be able to vibe even with the whole family, dance together, but I understand he may be shy. He's a great husband. I just need to know, am I tripping? He's antisocial. I'm very outgoing. I'm afraid he's turning me like him, and I don't like it.
Hmm.
Do you want me to respond to that first? You want
Yeah. Go ahead.
you
Nah. You go first.
So here's my thing. You started off with music. You went for a while with music, like, oh, we like different kinds of music. Okay, I got that. Then you say, then it's like I feel empty inside because you want to vibe to the same music at the same time. And then you were saying at the end you're talking about like personality differences, which is bigger than music differences. Because
Very much so.
I feel like if I like R&B music and somebody like rap music, I can listen to their music and they can listen to my music. It's not
Right.
like be a problem. That's what you like to do. But
Right.
if it's an issue in y'all relationship where he like is just completely against listening to what you like, and you are, now you're not I feel like it becomes an issue of like, is he just against doing what you like to do, and he just wants you
Yeah.
to do what he likes to do? Because
Right.
that's a different equation than
Yeah,
you don't.
she's using the music as, I guess, an illustration, but for me on the outside looking in, it sounds like there's a compatibility issue.
Right.
Um, And that is just not with your genre of music that you like to listen to. I was in a relationship where a girl does not like to go to bars and smoke hookah and socialize with strangers, but that's my thing. That's what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it in the crib, but I like to go out and not to clubs or strip clubs, but I do like bars. I do like to sip. That's not her forte. It aggravated the fuck out of her. You know what I'm saying? She's in bed by 8. I might be out till midnight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so me, it doesn't sound like it's just, oh, he's a hip hop head and she's an R&B head, and no, it's really, he's just not into the things that you are into, and vice versa. And that is a big issue in relationships, because if I'm outgoing and then my partner is super safe, then we can't take trips and jump off the cliffs in Maui or just go bungee jumping or something, because you're just not into that. If you
Right.
like books and go to the library and it's super quiet, and I like to be out where the music is a vibe and live music, and you're not gonna like that. So now we don't have activities where we can bond together. We
Right.
don't have date nights where we're on the same page, because again, what you're into, I'm totally against, and vice versa. So I don't think it's just a genre of music. I think that it's a issue of you guys might not be as compatible as you all thought you were.
100%. And I also think that, you know, when women, I just speak as a woman. When I got married, I know that I was trying so hard because I when I was growing up, you know, my home was a broken home. I didn't know what a real wife looked like at home like that. So at the time, I was trying so hard. I remember just being like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? How do I need to, what role do I need to play? And I put all my energy into being what I thought this person wanted me to be. And,
Yeah.
or I wasn't me.
You wasn't being yourself, and ultimately you grow resentment for that person, because
100%.
you're being unhappy to make your person happy. I promise. Me and my ex-girlfriend, we broke up strictly because of that. And I said it. I was like, you just don't like me. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
let me just take the L. We've been in this for a year. You don't like me. I love me. I like me. I don't want to change me. I'm
Mhm.
good. You know what I'm saying? Let's dap it up. You know what? We were better as friends.
Right.
So compatibility is a very, very, very important component to harmony and peace in a relationship. You don't have to like everything the person likes, but majority of the things y'all need to be in cahoots with, because y'all not gonna be able to vibe.
Exactly. And I'm really big about when we try to get into things, we have a lot of dating coaches out here that tell you what to do and what to say and how to do things. I'm very big about be real from day one. Like, this is who I am. This is what comes with me. If you don't like it, don't deal with it, because you
Yeah.
don't want to be like Sam. You talked about you like going out to bars and doing your thing. You know, I used to be turned
Right,
up and doing my thing too. So
right.
want to be with somebody that's like, don't do that, don't have fun, don't do it like this because I want you to be this. It's like then you feel like you're being stifled and you're not being yourself and you're not necessarily getting what you need from the relationship. So be real, y'all. Just keep it 100.
Yep.
Don't do things to try to make somebody like you.
Yes, yes.
You're not being real.
Yourself from day one, like that you said, day one, because first dates we want to uh just be perfect and get the vibe going.
Right.
But I implore you to put it all on the table the first date, so you don't waste your time. You tell
Me,
them,
I'm just like that.
yeah,
Yes.
ask those uncomfortable questions. Let say, hey, I'm a party boy. Do you fuck with guys that go out sometimes? And
Right.
I'm a friendly man. I buy strangers drinks. Like, would that bother you? Would that make you insecure? Make them uncomfortable by asking uncomfortable questions, but also make them be truthful, because
Right.
ultimately it's gonna come out. If it's not that day, 6 months from now, a year from now, at some point you're gonna resort back to who you naturally are. That
Who
makes
you are.
sense. So day one, let's just put on the table and say, hey, this is what I'm into. This is what I like. This is how I am. And they now have the option in the real honest perspective of who you are and can move accordingly.
Right. I also think if as you saying that, it's like I also put out there what I like. You know, now the little stuff like I don't like sleeping in I like sleeping in the cold. That's just something I know it's like
Yeah, you like to be freezing and snugged and all that. It's an igloo.
right, I like the cold. I like sleeping in the
Okay.
cold and I don't like snoring. So it's like, do you snore? Do you
That's a thing. It sounds small, but nah, it's a big thing, because now you sleeping next to a man that's sounding like a grizzly bear, and it's pissing you the fuck off, and you can't sleep.
and you
So
can't be in the same room.
yeah, so I think it's very, 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 very encouraging to just put it all on the table on the first day, so you know what you're getting yourself into.
Right. Let me see if there's any more. Y'all, if there's not any more questions here, let me see if y'all got some questions here. Okay. They're saying Sammy's on point. Men need to hear this. Okay, women too. Uh okay. Da, 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 da. Um, how do you know if someone is really for you in a relationship or just using you for beneficial gain?
In my experience, man, I just let women talk.
Oh,
I'm a very great listener, a very attentive listener. And then I do have, a gift from God where I'm intuitive. But if a woman, is only talking about Birkins and Chanel's and trips, then I know that's her substance. That's as far as her depths reach. You know what I'm saying? So she needs materialistic things and uh spontaneous random trips and I'm not saying anything is wrong with doing that, by the way, but if that's all she talks about, then I'm very aware that she's a materialistic woman. In the
right.
moment beating that, she'll move on to the next man that is willing to. So
Mm,
just being a good listener, man. Sometimes you got to say less, because if you say too much, um, people will morph into what they think you need them to be. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people really put on a facade,
mm.
or as long as they could, to try to get to where they want to be and get what they want out of you. But for me, for the most part, I really just shut up and let a woman tell me, you know what I'm saying, what it is that she's into. And it's like it's like, a chart. You just hear, oh, money, 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 or bags, 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 or trips, trips, trips. If it's not, I like somebody that can make me smile, I like somebody that support me, I like somebody that push me, I like somebody, then I know where we are. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to say too much. It's more so saying less and just letting a person tell you who they really are and how they get down.
I I don't really have anything to say to that. I agree with that 100%. People will tell on themselves. You just
And
let them talk long enough. Let me see. How do you help your partner grow closer to God if they have shown interest?
if they've shown interest,
If they've shown interest. Hmm.
that's that mean they're open. One of my greatest compliments, ex of mine said, even when we fell off, and uh, she texted me and was like, the greatest thing you ever did was show me God. And I was like, oh, well, I did my job. You know what I'm saying? We might not have got married and had kids and all that, but that's far greater. You having a relationship with our creator. Um,
Hmm.
I'm a praying man. I pray so much during the day, you know what I'm saying? And night and morning and brunch and snacks and all that. I just pray. Uh, if you have a woman that's willing to, she may not know how to pray, but she's willing to trust you to pray for her, that shows that she's open to spiritual growth, and nourishment. If she's willing to go to church with you, I think it's funny that, and I'm not pushing religion on nobody, you know what I'm saying? Pray to who you pray for, and pray to. But we will go bowling and out to eat, but it's uncomfortable when you ask a woman or a man, or a woman asks a man, like, hey, you should come to church with me Sunday. People really will put off, like, oh, I think it's too soon to be. Why? That's where we need to be. Like, if we're
Right.
ever grow as friends and uh prayer partners and life partners and being in a relationship, and hopefully if marriage is your to go to, we should be there more than we should be anywhere. So
Right.
I think that if a person is very open and receptive, it makes it a lot easier to come to church with me, or I'm in this group chat and we be sharing Bible verses through the week, and we just push each other and elevate each other, welcome them into that spiritual realm. Because if you don't have that foundation, at some point it's going to crash and burn. You know what I'm saying? There's only so much your friends and your family and they can say. So I think that if you have somebody that's receptive and open to it, just invite them into your spiritual community.
Right. I also think that a lot of women try to nag men into being on the same level as them spiritually. Like, I need you to be coming to church. I need you to do this. Why aren't you praying? Why aren't you doing this? Why don't you show interest in this? I feel like the biggest way to do things is to model it.
Yeah.
Like, if you show somebody, if you're in your word, if you're acting a certain kind of way, if they see you in your war room, if they see you, acting out the ways in which God has called you as a woman to be a Christian, to be a woman of God, then that will be attractive to a person
Very much.
that doesn't know you, that doesn't know God. They see God in you. So then
Yeah.
God in you is like, you know what? I want something. Like when you said just now that your ex was like, hey, you showed me God.
Yeah.
Exactly how it
Yeah.
should. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm modeling it. I'm modeling peace. I got that glow. I'm doing these things. You see me in my words. You see me doing, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm doing Miracle Monday or not.
Yeah.
It's like you're seeing that in me. So you're going to see God in me. And that will bring them close.
Closer to and closer to God.
Right. Right.
Be it. I love that.
Yeah. So don't nag, ladies. Just show. You know, let your actions speak louder than your words. Um, okay, so somebody asked, um, hmm, okay, no, let me see. Somebody asked me, which, no, so, somebody asked me, did I feel single when my ex worked away a lot? No, I didn't feel single. Okay. How, let me see. How do you, and this is from a guy, how do you know when you ready for marriage? Did you get a sign or something that's saying it's time?
So I'm not married yet to whomever asked that, but I am in an intentional relationship with who I feel is my life partner and my rib. For me, to be honest, it was just a feeling. I've known this girl for 11 years. We had
Mm,
some dealings in 2013. I know the year because that's the only time we had a magical moment. She lived in New York at the time. And
mm,
then I was young and I didn't know what to do with that. So I got back onto my life, right? And 7 years go by. Um, Literally 7 years go by, the number of completion. I feel like God is intentional in that kind of thing. I seen her June 2nd of 2020.
mm-hmm.
It makes sure it's my first time outside. I'm going to this event and for my friend's birthday. And I don't see, her name's Danny. I don't see Danny. She sees me though and makes herself seen. And she's like, "Oh, you don't see me?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, Danny," because we only kept in contact via text and Instagram for 7 years, never physically seen each other.
Okay.
But not, and I quote, my first thing I saw, we grabbed like arms and hugged, and I was like, "It's so good to see you." And she was like likewise. And I was like, "What's your ring size?" And when I said that, the
What?
first thing I said after not seeing,
What the? Oh, like, what made you ask that?
well, the feeling that I felt, like when I touched her, I felt a spark though. I felt the spark. Like the world, you see movies and videos where the world stops and time stands still. For the
Yeah.
first time in my entire life, that's what happened. And I don't know, with the words that I uttered was, "What's your ring size?" You know what I'm saying? And she was like, "Boy, don't play with me." You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, "Nah." And I text her 10 days later. I see her in LA a month later, and I start cutting off the girls and the entanglements and the shit that I was in. Like, no, she didn't tell me to do it. I just was like, I'm out. Like, I gotta see what me and Danny could be, because I've always loved her. I've always thought she was special. You know what I'm saying? So from my experience, it's a feeling. I've heard a lot of married men say, "When you know, you know."
Yeah.
So it's something that you can't really explain and describe. And my story sounds crazy, I'm sure, to most people listening to this, but that's for me. I called my mom, like, "Mom, like, I think I met my wife." You know what I'm saying? And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I don't know. The world stopped, touched her." And ever since, I've been in high pursuit. So I think that you got to trust that feeling,
Yeah.
you know, because there's no reason why I would say that after not seeing this girl in the physical for 7 long years. She's not the girl that I saw in New York. I'm not the man that she saw in New York, but it was something that we always had for each other. And then
Right.
I do believe in divinity, because June 2nd, her 23rd birthday, that's when I knew I liked her, in 2012. And
Okay.
then fast forward 9 years, June 2nd, the same day, I had that feeling. So I had to just honor something that God just put in me and say, "You know what, even if it's not, go for it." So I think it goes back to when you know, you know.
Mm.
You won't have to question it. You know what I'm saying? So, um, and I used to be scared of talking about marriage and kids and all that, but with her, I'm like, hell yeah, we already named our kids. That's not even here yet, and I know what ring size it is for real, and I know what kind of diamond she want, and I know how I want to do it. These are things that I've never experienced prior to her. So when you know, brother, you know. You know what I'm saying? And when you feel you know, just go for it.
That's what's up. I love that answer. I agree with that. Okay, so let me see. Another one. Uh okay, I don't know. Um what's the somebody asked another question. Okay. In your opinion, what is the best quality a man could possess to keep the relationship growing?
The best. I mean, it's cliche, but we've been talking about him the whole time. It's just he has to be a godly man.
I agree with that.
As much as I love my shorty, she get on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? She's a lot, you know. But as you know what I'm saying, like, let me not paint the perfect love picture. It's not that. You know what I'm saying? we started off toxic as hell. I was like, God, you told me I got a spark and this is my headache.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I always return to God. And if you always return to God, you return to love. And if you return to love, you return to grace. And if you return to grace, you return to patience. If you return to patience, you return to understanding and communication. So I think just he has to have a lot of God in him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just difficult. You know what I'm saying? And no shade to women. Women are a lot. Like y'all, sometimes y'all be feeling away and don't know why you feel away.
That's
So
right.
if you know why you feel away, how the hell I know why you feel away and how I'm gonna fix it? That's a complex job, right?
Right.
But I know when I have my anytime there's some doubt or anytime it's so easy to break up, it's so easy to leave, it's so easy to just be single, it's so easy to just be a savage, it's so easy to just be Sammie the singer and just live in your abundantness of women, right?
Right.
But that's not what really I'm about. So I just return back to God, and then he gives me more things and tools and components that I need to deal with my peach. And it's just and that's how we rocking.
I want to add to that because I think God is a great. I think that a lot of people say I believe in God, but I think somebody who has a real relationship with God, like not that I
Yeah.
believe in God and oh there's another being that created us, whatever. I mean like a real, like I have a real relationship with God, so therefore I have to take account of my sins. I have to understand that the cross is bigger than me. I have to do that kind of work. I think that a man that has a real relationship with God that you can see, and a man
Yeah.
empathic. I think
Yeah.
that's a big thing is like empathy because yes, we as women, we a lot. I know I'm a lot. I already know that. You walk
Yeah.
you walk into this ring, I already know what it is. I got my little ways about me. So I know that like a man to be able to like, listen, this hurt me this way. And
Hmm.
and be like, you know what? I could see why, and even if I don't see why, I just rather it be peaceful. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna do whatever it takes to
To,
make whatever it takes. But to understand, like, listen, I'm
yep.
gonna try to understand her. I'm gonna try to meet her where she's at. Doesn't mean she's always 100% right, but I'm
Yeah.
willing to do the work.
You
This
said
job.
you said a beautiful word too. Understand. So I no longer when we have our differences and our little powwows, right? We don't argue or nothing like that. We actually pick a day. She'll be like, next Wednesday, are you open to?
Oh,
Yeah,
has
we
she
know.
been in therapy? Has she
Yeah. So
been?
she don't just spring it on me. She be like, baby, next Wednesday, I know you got gym and you don't have a show. Can we talk about some things? So at that point, I'm prepping myself for the talk, right? But in that talk, I'm no longer trying to prove myself right or her wrong. Because when you do that, there's conflict. Because now you're gonna have a pissing contest. Like I'm gonna keep trying to get my point across so you can feel inferior to me. Nah, I like the day. Give me a Wednesday, cool. I done prep myself. I'm in a space of peace. I get a little beer or something, and I'm like, "What's
Got
up?"
some
And,
food
and
with
I don't know what I'm about to get, but she gonna, she lays it on me, and I may not still like what she's talking about, but
right.
now to just understand her. So now I'm like, okay, oh, let me elaborate on that, or no, I ain't mean it when I said it like that, or now I'm centered.
Right.
She's that we had to learn this. She used to just throw it on me as soon as I wake up, and I hate that because I'm not a morning nigga. So like now I'm like I don't want to wake up and argue, but now she gives me Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm coming from a place of understanding. Danny, what's up? What can I do better? What am I lacking in? And you're still not gonna like everything that person is saying to you because
Right.
it's not all it, but you're in a
Right.
space where you can take it and be like, you know what, you're not right, you're not wrong, but I understand, and now I can make the adjustment because I give a shit. I love you, so let me work on myself. Let me work on those things. So I've learned that understanding, opposed to trying to prove people right and wrong, goes a long way. Who gives a shit who's right or wrong? Y'all on the same team. So how about you just understand me? I understand you, and we good. It's
Right.
not like if I'm right, I lose actually because you feel inferior. You feel like your feelings are swept under the rug. You feel like you don't have a space to communicate. Fuck all the right. I understand, and now that I understand, I'm a do better in that department. Or I'm
That's
gonna
so
try to,
that's so
and
good.
it's been super healthy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sharing that because that's what I practice. Like we really pick a day. Like this is our day to get our shit off, and and you have time to get yourself ready for that Sammie and Danny session, so to speak.
Right. Right. And I think that that's so good because what you said was something that honestly, Justine Simmons told me.
Mm-hmm.
she told me before, she was like, professional forgivers. Like
Yeah,
that's what they're like. They become professional forgivers. They forgive on a professional level. I
that's
mean,
beautiful.
yeah, no, it's amazing. It was something to me that I've never, because I was not the kind of person in my life where I was like, I don't forgive. Like I hold on to stuff, and that's where my power is.
Yeah, you can't do that because you're a prisoner of your past and you're constantly pulling your partner back in time. You know what I'm saying? And he can't erase what happened. He can only hopefully change for the future, right? So you have to forgive that person enough to continue to progress. And you know, it sounds so simple because it's not. But if you're choosing to stay, then it's wisest to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forgive and hate on this nigga and bash him and do all this stuff. If you're leaving, cool. But if you're choosing to stay with this person, and again, y'all on the same team, let's come to, again, a place of being professional forgivers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to understand you, Samantha, and I just need you to understand me because we
Right,
chose to stay. And
right.
because I stay, that alone changes my whole mind. It's like, oh, you're not leaving. So get to understanding and get to forgiving.
And she would, and also being able, don't, if you're not gonna leave, you know, don't introduce leaving in a relationship you would desire to last forever.
Right. Yep,
Those are
that's
made, you know, where I was like, you know, well, I'm out. Like, you want to do this? That's fine. I'm out of here. Let's go. And it's like, don't introduce leaving if you ain't really finna leave. Don't introduce that level of insecurity. Something I still work on. It's like, but you have to be intentional if you want a relationship to last. Speak lasting.
yeah,
Your words
you
have power. Your
yeah.
mouth has power.
Thoughts become things, things provoke action. So if you're saying you're leaving, then there's gonna be a avenue for you to leave. But if
100.
you decide to just stay, you'll never resort to that. That door is forever closed. You know what I'm saying? So you'll only go to the resolve. You know what I'm saying? And it takes maturity and experience, but it truly, truly is efficient when you practice that.
I think as well with you guys, I think when you say we're on the same team, like, why am I trying to prove you're right or I'm wrong? Somebody told me it's like you can either be right or be together, be right or be married, be right.
Yeah.
Like you can choose one. You win the, you know, you win that battle, but you lose the war.
Yeah, yep. It's
So
precisely any man on here. That's the key. Like I trust me, I spent years arguing just to be right, and still had chaos in the home. But if
yeah,
I settle down and men, it's not lack alpha to submit when in those I submit. Like baby, I don't got the arguments for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the tit for tat for you. I'ma listen. I want you to listen, and I love you, and I'm not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So let's not fucking mess up the dynamic duo. Let's go into this thing knowing we Kobe and Shaq and we trying to get more rings. If them niggas stayed together, they would have got 6. They went sideways and my man's got 4 and Kobe got 5. I'm staying, so you stay and let's stay. You know what I'm saying? And that just helps with the chemistry and the harmony of a relationship.
I love that. That's so good. Honestly, I mean, talking about Kobe and Shaq, and we're trying to get more rings, and we need to work together. We need to be on the same team. That's so. I
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get lost in trying to be right. That we're just fighting. We're just that's what we're fighting. You hear Soraya? Hey Soraya. But
You.
but at the end of the day, it's like we can get so lost in being right. We can get so lost in arguing our point, and we're diminishing the other person. We're making them feel inferior. And you're saying you're an alpha. What is now? I don't know who, you know, if Danny is an alpha. If she
She's
was
definitely the alpha. For
okay.
sure.
How do you work that out? Because she does have those alpha qualities that picked up on it.
Yeah.
Work that out with you being alpha. She's an alpha. How does that work with y'all?
I mean, you know what's crazy? She and I say this in the most humbling way, and it made me love her more. She bowed down to me. Like she calls me Sammy the Christ. She calls me neighborhood
What?
Sammy the Christ. Because when chaos is around, I'll grab everybody. I don't care, and I'll pray. I'm like, I think it's a good time to pray. Like I don't care what's going on. I'll pray. I prayed in Cancun after we was drunk in tequila because some couple was talking crazy. I was like, I think we should pray. And
Let's talk to Jesus.
yeah, everybody come you know what I'm saying? So she told me, and this is when you meet your person, they'll feed who you truly are. So she told me, she was like, all my life I've been the star. She was like, but with you, I love being a co-star. I gotta let you shine. I gotta let you be yourself. I gotta let you be like I'm friendly. You know what I'm saying? I love everybody. I be talking to strangers and listening to their life stories and trying to minister into their life, because this just in me. I don't know how to not be that way, right?
Right.
To my ex who was insecure, hated that. Too friendly, too nice, fuck them, take your picture, keep it pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Danny be like, hey, turn your little charm on, give her that smile, give her that little dimple on the right side. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
are the, and you hearing that from somebody you fucking love, adore, and think is the most beautiful thing in the world. You're like, oh shit, I'm really, you know what I'm saying? Let me put my
Right.
superhero cape on. So it really is balanced out because she chose to be beside me. She was like, I don't gotta shine no more. My man shine. I could, and then I let her shine. She's the life of the party. She's gonna take some shots and she's gonna show that pretty smile, and she
Yeah.
might ask permission to twerk and be twerking in the corner. And I gotta really let her have her fun and dance and not be a her ass man because I got a pretty woman, and let her do what the fuck she wanna do.
Period.
Because that's me do it. She's really the female version of myself.
Yeah.
So anytime I do want to trip, I can't because I resort back to God and myself, and I'm like, nigga, you the same way. You're not
Period.
twerking in the corner or nothing, but you definitely going, hey queen, hey king, stop, turn up. So, she really just positioned me. I didn't put myself in that position. She positioned me. She said, you're the star. I get it. I see why everyone loves Sammie. And
Yeah.
then that works for me. I'm like, oh, I don't have to dumb myself down and not be myself. So now I'm gonna only be a greater version of myself because I have the permission in the harmony and peace from my person. This is
Right.
the first one I ever dated that loves me to be myself and lets me be myself. Everybody else didn't like this, didn't like this. So I'm now trying to reel myself back, and I'm miserable
Yeah.
trying to keep the.
Trying
But
to.
now I have, because I just get to be myself. So although she's an alpha woman, I'm an alpha male. She legit has said, "You're Simba, I'm Nala." You know what I'm saying? Come home. You know what I'm saying? And take over this pride land. Like, oh, I'm gonna give her the world now because I get to really, really be. And that is when you meet your person. And I never had that. I never had that. I've had some amazing exes. You know what I'm saying? I've never shit on them,
Right.
but I never had a peach that really every day allows me to be Sammie the singer,
Yeah.
the entrepreneur, the nice guy, the loving guy, the silly guy, the charismatic guy. Like,
Right.
she liked to be that. And now sky's the fucking limit. You know what I'm saying? There is no limit.
I love that because I think that on both sides, like if you show a genuine love for her and who she is as a person, and she shows a genuine love for who you are, you ain't got to be nobody else but you, and she don't have to be nobody else but her.
Right.
I think it's so important for relationships because we are loving people into who we want them to be versus who they are right now. Do I love you for who you are right now, whether you change, whether you don't change, whether you find Jesus or you don't? Do I love you wholly, no matter what that is? And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's the relationship I want. I want somebody that loves me for exactly who I am, flaws and all.
Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah. We come into relationships trying to change one another.
Right.
That
You
is
just
impossible.
100%.
It's a lot of things I don't rock about Peach. Be honest, and there's a lot of things she don't fuck with about me. But we embrace it all. You know what I'm saying? My girl, a crybaby. She cries happy, sad, angry. She's had limitless tear fill up. She can cry, and I'm like, why you always crying? You know what I'm saying? She cried. I put a song on IG yesterday. She's crying in the kitchen. I'm like, why are you crying? Like, don't cry. But that's who she is. You know what I'm saying? She's a crier. And
Right.
we need the balance because I rarely cry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She's very intense and always in the ocean. I be in 3 feet. I don't be want to talk deep all the time, Peach. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
put myself up because Bay got to talk about the moon, the stars, the earth, and all kinds of shit. And I
Right.
need that out. You know what I'm saying? So
Sounds like me and Danny would get along real well. I think we'd be best.
y'all besties. Listen, y'all besties. She's not surface level at all, but I
Right.
appreciate it
Right.
because I need a person like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when you allow a person just to be themselves unapologetically,
Yeah.
it
Unapologetic.
she's not in a prison. She can do what she want to do. I
Right.
could I want to do, and
Right.
then we come home together and shit be, we it's lit.
I love that. And I think that, and I know we're like at 8:03. This one,
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, this one by so I had so much fun. But I have to say something else about just the dynamics of y'all's relationship and what you described with Danny, I hope I didn't lose my point, because there was something that you said that really resonated with me when you talked about relationships. Oh, yes. So, because I think a lot of women write me about wanting to be with men that are entertainers, wanting to be with men long term that have, or whatever, are, you know, they're
Yeah.
entertainers. I don't know how else to say it. They're entertainers.
Yeah.
You have to have a certain level of security within yourself to ever jump into that ocean, because I feel like, and
For
oh, I
sure.
be so great if I was, there may be women on this live, they're obviously fans, like, I would love to be with Sammie, da da da,
Yeah.
Danny, and blah blah blah. They may be saying all that, right?
Yeah.
um,
A headache. A headache though. We are a headache.
yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not easy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you've got to deal with a lot of different things, and being a creative within who you're. If you are a creative, I know that about you
Yeah.
already. It's like being a creative and being in certain headspaces and being
Mm.
in, being moody. If you agree,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
you deal you deal with things like a lot of women don't understand that. Like, okay, you would have to be 100% secure, understanding that this man is going to be singing and performing to
And
women, and
thousands of women.
be
Yeah.
open with what that comes with the flirting, with all of that stuff, and you just being able to be like, go ahead, like, I can appreciate your art, I can appreciate
Mm-hmm.
your craft, and still be 100% secure with what we have, despite what I see going on the outside, or what people are
Mm-hmm.
doing in the comments or DMing you or whatever that is. Like, women, you think you want a part of whatever,
It's
whoever, whatever entertainer.
tough. It's tough.
It's tough. That ain't
I
not
say
easy stuff.
and comes some it shit, right? And the woman, and this is why I respect her for being an alpha. I would never say, "Oh, don't be an alpha woman." No,
Right.
be loud, be proud, be strong. I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? It don't intimidate me, but I also will, big her up on. She's the first woman I know that acknowledges. So there's a difference, because it's teamwork make the dream work. If
Right.
I made you insecure in the department, it's my job to starve that insecurity.
Sure.
But if you just come in insecure, and
Right.
that's your own, or some daddy issues or some
100.
ex, that ain't got shit to do with me.
Right.
You handle that. It's not my responsibility. And I will say she is great at that. Like, when we came in, let me be clear, it was not so great. But
Right.
she hated me. She had never seen me at a walkthrough at a club, and I'm walking in with 10, 15 girls, and girls is looking at her like, who are you? And like, she's been in those. I invite her to it so she sees, right?
Right.
She is the first woman I dated that is like, oh, that was my thing. I'm gonna take my ass to therapy, talk to her, get this up off me, and watch me be better the next time.
That's
And
that's
ace the, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, you're the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I did something, then I can say, oh, baby, that was me. I did too much. I did the most. I'm gonna pull back. I apologize. It won't happen again, and I'll change my behavior.
yeah.
But a woman who wants to talk to an athlete, an actor, a singer, a songwriter, anybody that's popping and doing well for themselves, or he could just be IG famous. There's so many different variations of fame these days.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Understand it comes with things, and you have to be so solid with self.
100.
And so going to that place of, well, at the end of the show, he comes home to me. At the end of the day, he calls me when he lands and when he gets to his hotel. And that's not clocking, that's just respect.
Mm-hmm.
You are responsible for holding that, because you can't be driving me crazy while I'm trying to keep the bills and the lights going and plan for future children and move us to another house and get you
Right.
there.
Right.
I need to be in a level of focus where I can still be myself and still give the people what they want from Sammie, while at the end of the day, I'm yours. You know what I'm saying?
And
And every woman don't come into a situation like that, although they want the successful man with the bag. So
right.
you got to check yourself sometimes and say, oh, that was me tripping. That was just me being a woman. That was me being emotional. That was me being insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I respect about her. You know what I'm saying? If it's her, she's going to analyze it and fix that shit. If it's me, I'm going to analyze it and fix that shit. And you got to cherish and honor somebody like that.
100%. You do, because there's not a lot of people out there like that that take responsibility for their actions. But
Mm-hmm.
I have that point clear. The number one thing that most of you women that want to be with men that are in the entertainment industry, like, just based off the fact that you're writing me about it, you can't handle it.
Right. Not ready
You
yet.
can't handle it. If you writing me about it and you want to be in that, you shouldn't be in it, because the people that want to be in it are not the ones who ever find themselves in it. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like the
Yeah.
people don't want nothing to do with it, to be able to say, like, listen, I want you to shine. I don't need to shine.
Right.
You want to shine and want to be in these limelights or whatever. Like, that's where it becomes a conflict, because people are trying to be the star in certain times. You got to be able to say, like, I'm okay with
Just
you
being,
and me doing me.
yeah.
I'm okay with being a submissive party, and you have somebody that's like that. That's like, listen, I respect your lead. I respect you as a man. You've shown me that I can trust you. You show me that I can be secure with what we have, despite whatever else is going on. So
Right.
I'm good with that. And if it's something with me, my healing is my responsibility.
Yeah, I'll deal with it. I respect that. I never met a woman like that, so I was like, that's something new. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen it time and time again. So it's something that I, again, respect, and then I honor it. You know what I'm saying? It makes me, again, want to secure her more. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
it works. It's just like you said. It's an endless cycle of serving one another. You know what I'm saying? So I do what it takes to put her at ease, and she does what it takes to let me be myself.
That's right, and that makes a perfect relationship, because y'all.
Yep.
You know, this is a cycle. Anyway, I could talk to you. I know you got things to do. I know you got things to do, but this was so much fun.
I appreciate it, man. Love you. Always respected you. You was always a queen. I've known you for a long time. I'm happy to see your growth. I'm happy and really just blown away by how you handle adversity. You know, publicly. You know what I'm saying? You've taken something that could have been so toxic and I would say destructive, and you've made it a beautiful flower, and you're blossoming from it, and it's refreshing on the outside as a friend watching you birth from. You know what I'm saying? So your best is yet to come, and you keep spreading the knowledge and the light and the glow that you naturally are.
You know, I love you, Sammie, and I've always respected you. Always respected you as a creative. You're super talented, and you've always been. And I knew you would come here and do this, and that's why I act like it's gonna be hard for me to get off this live, because you know. I've seen your growth, you know, like you said, we've known each other for a while. So it's like, I've seen you grow as a man, and I respect a man that does his work. I respect a man that's unapologetically him. I don't care who he's in front of, whether he's alive right now, if you're in front of, wherever you are, you're you. And I totally respect that. I love that about you. You're always unapologetically so. And I love that.
I appreciate it. I only could be myself. You know what I'm saying? It got me this far in life. I tend to go a lot further being myself. I don't want to wear no costume, and I made my mistakes out loud, and I'll triumph and be triumphant rather out loud. You know what I'm saying? And I'll still make mistakes. I'm not perfect, none of that. I'm still learning. But when you reached out, I had to do it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no go through my manager, do not like what's up. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always respected you and appreciate your energy. Like you are a light. You are literally. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a lot of women that look up to you, and a lot of men that want you but don't know what it takes to get a queen like yourself. You know what I'm saying? Never settle, and a bounce back would be beautiful. I could see that for you.
Thank you so much, Sammie. I appreciate it. Well, you go off and do your thing. I ain't gonna hold you. Thank you so much for doing this. We got to do this again, honestly. And they want to Danny go on, honestly. That's what they say in the comments.
Annie can't wait to share her side. You know what I'm saying? So I'll tell it. You know what I'm saying, that she's been requested, and I'm sure she'll love to come on. And I think y'all will be.
I think we would. I think me and her, she go to therapy. She's alive.
Yeah.
Got a little edge to her.
She's dope, and she's
best friend.
She's dope. Y'all energy would make for a beautiful friendship. You know what I'm saying? And sisterhood. So
I would love to
have y'all. That's love.
All right. Well, you have a good night. Y'all all have a good night. I'm going to save this live. Thank you, Sammie, again. We got to do this again.
Easy.
I'm going to save this in my IG. All right?
Love. Thank you.
Good night. See you guys.